I have a confession to make. I love video games. I love them just about as much, if not more, than movies. The time it takes to create a world from the ground up and make fun and unique gameplay is just astounding. Now, I get this question all the time from my large community, and people ask all the time, "Hey, what's your favorite games?" Well, I'm glad you asked, nobody, because I'm here to answer that question. And throughout this mediocre video, I'll be mentioning 5 key factors that really make a video game, at least for me. Well, technically 4 key factors. You'll see when we get to that part. Gotta stretch this video out to 10 minutes, so might as well put in extra stuff that you never asked for. So, anyways, let's just continue with this video. When I was but a wee little boy, a stupid, annoying wee little boy, I never really got to play video games that much. The biggest thing I had for a while was the Game Boy Color, and I didn't have exactly the greatest games on there. I actually had SpongeBob and the Legend of the Spatula, or whatever that's called. You know, the one that's infamous for being hard and bad. Yes. And even when I was that young, who liked everything I saw, I still got frustrated with that game. I could not beat the first area. And then I got a Game Boy SP, and then eventually, one Christmas, my family was blessed with the GameCube. I didn't even know this thing existed at the time because I didn't really know consoles and was very much into video games that much because I was kind of discouraged at that time, but then something changed and now video games, but a game was included with the console, and that was Mario Kart Double Dash. If I remember correctly, that was the first real game that I had to play, and I still play it today with my brother and sister whenever we get together because we have such fond memories of playing it as children. And I'm glad to say it still feels good to play today. It's not like nostalgia or anything. It gets your blood rushing when you're getting up to that finish line and you see that blue shell coming right up behind you, and you wonder if you're gonna finish that line before someone behind you crosses you. Ooh, just love that feeling. And what makes this game great is the gameplay, which is our first key factor. Arguably the most important part of making a game. You have to make your game fun. Even if you have a good story or good visuals, no one's gonna want to play your shitty game with bad mechanics and stuff. And what sets Mario Kart apart from other racing games is the items you use and the different tracks. I don't even like racing games, to be honest with you. They're all the same to me. It's just, oh, look at how pretty our cars look. But Mario Kart has more of a charm to it. It has character to it. And that's why I love it. But it's not my favorite game of all time. We'll get to that at the end. Other plays I gamed during the GameCube days are Spider-Man 2 and Ultimate Spider-Man. Those were the best Spider-Man games. Until Marvel's Spider-Man came out just a little while ago. This is one of the best Spider-Man things to ever exist ever. Not only is it fun to play and swing around, but the story is what kept you coming back. Which brings me to my second point. The story. I'm more of a single player kind of guy. I mean, I've played my fair share of multiplayer games, but a story is what keeps me connected to what I'm playing. It keeps me wanting to come back. And another PlayStation exclusive that came out the same year, God of War, did a very risky thing with its story and just the whole game in general, but with high risk come high reward. And boy, were we rewarded. Were we rewarded. Blah, 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 blah. And now the new God of War is the best of the series. And as much as I love these games, and trust me, I nearly busted a nut when playing Spider-Man, they're still not my favorite games of all time. Everybody knows the Dark Souls series. It's infamous for being hard and having subtle story. And every game news outlet always compares a hard game to Dark Souls, which they should just stop. But for some weird reason, every time I play one of the Souls games, I never seem to finish it. I don't know why. They're not bad games, it's just for some reason, I don't feel like I need to finish it. Until I played Bloodborne. Created by the same people who made the Dark Souls series, this game takes that formula but switches a couple things around. So instead of using shields, you use guns to stun your enemies. The setting is a little different, with it looking more like a gothic European type thingy, but it's very aesthetically pleasing. And this brings me to my next thingy: art style. I'd rather play a game with a unique look to it rather than some generic looking semi-realistic game that looks like 50 other games. Not to say that realistic looking graphics are bad or anything, they're fine if they fit the game. It's just that an art style can bring so much more creativity out of it from the concept artists and the animators that work hours on end to make these games look good. Oh, and if you're one of those people that thinks a game is bad if it doesn't look the most realistic, please leave. I don't want you here. Games like Journey, Inside, or Transistor wouldn't be as well loved if it didn't have its unique art style. And that's not to say if they didn't look that way they wouldn't be good games, it's just that it helps them make them better. But still, all these games I mentioned aren't my favorite games of all time. Are you seeing a pattern here? I hope you are. Recently I've played Persona 5 for the first time, and oh boy, do I crave more. It makes me want to find the previous titles and play them as well. Not only is it fun to play, but it has a very long, and I mean a long, story that's full of twists and hype moments, and also has a very stylish look that you don't see in a lot of games. And we cannot talk about Persona 5 without mentioning that soundtrack. Everybody's heard the track Last Surprise, you know, the one that goes, "You never see it coming." But can we take time to mention Rivers in the Desert, Willpower? Or how about my main track, Blooming Villain? What starts out with the and then it goes, and then once you're fully erect, the beat drops so hard that it makes you want to cream your pants. Soundtracks are important for a game. I actually prefer soundtracks from games, movies, and shows more than any other kind of music. Yeah, I know, I'm a huge nerd. Steal my lunch money. Not only is there a connection when you listen to these songs, you can feel the passion behind the composers who make these pieces. Going back to previous games we talked about, God of War has this ancient chorus and grand orchestral feel to it to go with the new setting of Norse mythology. And Spider-Man has a theme that's infinitely better than what Homecoming came up with. Every time I start the game, I sit at the menu just to listen to the entire theme. It is that good. Journey has this gentle and soothing feeling to the music that goes with the sleek and beautiful look of the game. And I have to mention, while I've never played any of the original Halo trilogy before, I can definitely appreciate its music. Okay, we started to drift off a little bit. Where were we? Oh yeah, Persona 5. While I do like that game, it's not my favorite of all time. Maybe second or third, but not my favorite. Much like Persona 5, I've never played a Yakuza game until the remake Kiwami came out a couple years ago. And again, I want to explore all the games. It's just so stupid and crazy and fun, and I just love it. It just goes full throttle and never stops. The fighting is fun, the humor is just bonkers, and the side missions are actually more fun than the main story. Which brings us to the sort of point, but not really, the side missions. Not every game has to have side missions, but if they do have them, they should be more than just a fetch quest just so you can gain more XP. They should have more meat on the bone so that you can really sink your teeth into it. Side missions should expand the world around you and make the people feel like they're really living in there. It's what makes side quests or side missions intriguing, and that's what Yakuza does. It's just ball to the walls, crazy with all these different people doing different stuff in this small city, and you get involved with it, and It's just one of the best I've ever seen in any game. And as great as Yakuza Kiwami is, and I still need to play Kiwami 2, it's still not my favorite game of all time. But maybe we should start talking about that. What is my favorite game? Could it be BioShock? No. Good game, but no. Could it be The Last of Us? Again, good game, hope the sequel is good, but no, not my favorite. Ouch! Could it be Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix on the Wii? A true classic to all gaming fans, but no. Okay, enough teasing your balls, let's get to the real deal. If we're gonna talk about my favorite game, we're gonna need to talk about my favorite series. The Mass Effect trilogy. Now before you say anything, yes, I know, the ending of Mass Effect 3 was bad. Don't need to beat a dead horse. Speaking of dead horses, we're not here to talk about Andromeda either. We can just forget about that. Yes, the ending of Mass Effect 3 was bad, but that didn't take away the journey throughout the entire series. BioWare created a sci-fi universe from the ground up, with interesting alien species and a stupid amount of detail as to why they behave certain ways, look certain ways, and live on the worlds that they do. The weapons and powers in the game feel good to use and unique enough to be their own thing, and the characters, well, at least most of them, are all interesting in their own ways, and you want to help them with their personal interests. And that is why Mass Effect 2 is my favorite game of all time. Which is what I would have said about 2 years ago. Gotcha again. Teased your balls again. In the year 2017, a game came out that slowly but surely took first place of my favorite games. And that game is Nier Automata. A beautiful and dark story with surprises around every corner, spectacular action thanks to Platinum Games, who also created Bayonetta and Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. They know how to make good fighting. Side missions that really make NPCs feel like they really live in this world. Character designs and settings that are just beautiful. And personally, my favorite soundtrack of all time. It's just so good. And while it is a sequel, you don't really need to know what happened in the first game. However, I do recommend that you at least check out a playthrough of the first game, Nier, so you can get more of an experience. It's just everything I've ever wanted in a game, and more. And you know guys, with all that said, there's just one more thing that makes this game great. 2B's ass. I mean, have you seen that thing? Look at that. Someone has spent hours making that beautiful specimen look as good as it does. I am asking, nay, I am demanding that every not safe for work artist send me 2B porn in my DMs right now. Please. I'm so lonely and desperate. Mama, why my pee-pee hard when I look at the girl on the game? Okay guys, that's it. That's the video. Hope you enjoyed whatever this was. I have an idea for another video. Don't know when that'll come up. It'll just come up when it does. It's not going to be something like this. It'll be well, you'll see when it comes up. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around. I really do appreciate it. Can we hit 10,000 likes, please? I know we're reaching for the stars, but it's like what? I'm trying to think of something funny here, but I can't. Thanks again for watching. See ya? Hold on, wait a minute. You're telling me that Makoto, the best girl of Persona 5, is also the voice actress for A2 in Nier Automata? Okay guys, can we send some A2 porn as well?